Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger here with another video tutorial for you. This time we're going to take a look at Latin rhythms. This will be a quick lesson. Just going to go over three very basic Latin rhythms that you should know. One of which is called the tango, another of which is called the bossa nova, and then the last of which is called the bolero. So tango being an Argentinian form of music, a great dance that most of you are probably familiar with, has a really distinct rhythm to it that instantly is recognizable the minute you hear it. I'm going to tap out a tango rhythm for you first before I even play any kind of chords, just hitting the top of my ukulele. Here's the rhythm. You can hear against my foot, it's going 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So you have a little bit of space in there. You have some rests that you have to deal with. There's a rest on 2 of the first measure, and there's a rest on 1 of the second measure. By the way, these measures only have 2 beats in them in this tango rhythm. So first measure is 1, 2, and the second measure is 1, 2. So in a proper tango, you're not thinking 4, 4, you're thinking 2, 2, 4. So 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Typically that's played by a bass or the left hand of the piano, something low in register. Boom, 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 boom. Those notes I'm singing are for an A minor chord and an E chord or an E7 if I have my pitch correct here. Let's see. Yeah. So A minor and E are the 2 chords I was singing a bass line for. Boom, 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 boom. And sometimes you have other rhythms on top of that. That's the basic underlying rhythm of the whole thing. Maybe a percussion or other instruments doing stuff on top, maybe. Still all over that 1, 2, 1, 2 rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so as far as ukulele playing on top of all of this, why don't we use the chords A minor and E7. You can use an open A minor with the 1 finger. You can use an open E7. You can use an up the neck A minor, a 3rd fret A minor, 4th fret E7. If you know these up the neck chords, might as well use them. If you don't, open chords are fine. I'll start using open chords just to demonstrate. So here's your tango rhythm with an A minor and an E7. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you can hear the chords, I'm making them short because of those rests. We have to have that nice space between the chords. To achieve those rests, what I'm doing is covering the strings with my right hand. I'm simply muting them like this. And that stops it from ringing. See? Strike it with my index finger, then immediately cover the strings and you get silence. So once again. Tango. Let's do those same exact chords again, but now we're going to do a bossa nova rhythm. This bossa rhythm is written in 4, and it goes like this. Now you might be saying, well, wait a minute, that sounds an awful lot like the tango rhythm. And indeed, the first half of a bossa nova rhythm is identical to a tango rhythm. But the second measure is where you have a different syncopation in it that you don't have in the tango. Tango being from Argentina and bossa nova being from Brazil, both South American nations, yeah, there's a little bit of crossover there. But the tango is distinctly a very rhythmic dance, whereas bossa nova usually is kind of a more laid-back thing. Bossa nova oftentimes is very slow and gentle. Girl from Ipanema being one of those famous bossa songs that you might have heard of before. Desafinado, Chegua de Cidade, songs like that. Antonio Carlos Jobim was the composer of all three of those. And so bossa nova is kind of a little gentler than tango. Tango is very dramatic, very fiery, and bossa nova very laid back. So there is a difference in the feel. Notice how I was plucking the strings with my right hand. I sort of did that. I simultaneously pluck all four of my strings with my thumb, index, middle, and ring to achieve that. Counting wise, what we have here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's that and of 3 at the towards the end of 2, excuse me, towards the end of the second bar that makes it very different from tango. So you're hitting on 1, you're hitting on the end of 2, you're hitting on 4, and then the second measure you're hitting on 2, and then you're hitting on the end of 3. Excuse me, I said that wrong earlier. It is distinctly the end of 3. My apologies for saying the end of 2. So I'll repeat that. It's 1, end of 2, 4, and then the second bar is 2, and then the end of 3. You just hold it for the whole rest of the measure. Here it is again. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can make them long like that, or you can make them short. I pluck and then I mute to make them short. So that's bossa nova. You can strum them too. You could, if I use up the net chords and strum them, it sounds like. Using my thumb to strum, just simply pressing and releasing to make the chord stop ringing, which I've discussed in previous videos about pressing and releasing. A left-hand technique as opposed to a right-hand technique. So that's bossa nova, and then quickly the last rhythm is the bolero, possibly the hardest of all three. Bolero sounds like this on an open A minor chord. I won't even do E7 on this, just A minor to start with. This is in 3/4 time, so you should be thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there's a big old triplet in there, lots of triplets. The triplet being on the and. So 1, triplet, 2, triplet, 3, and. That's the first half of the bolero. 1, triplet, 2, triplet, 3, and. And then the second half, 1, triplet, 2, triplet, triplet, triplet. 2 triplets in a row on beat 3. Here it is on the whole chord progression, A minor and E7. And one of the most famous boleros is Ravel's bolero, the 20th century French composer, turn of the century, Ravel's bolero, which was in the movie 10 with Bo Derek and Dudley Moore way back in the 80s, in the olden days for you young folks. So once again, let's do a bolero rhythm. I'm going to tap my foot so you can hear the distinct 3/4 feel. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Could do a faster bolero like this. 1, 2, 3. And then ridiculously fast. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you hear it fast. Beck's Bolero. Jeff Beck had an instrumental rock hit way back in the day on his album Truth. And Jeff Beck group, he did something called Beck's Bolero. Great early rock and roll guitar instrumental that used this bolero rhythm. You'll hear it, here and there in different types of music, but bolero is basically a Spanish form of music. You'll hear it a little bit in Cuban music too, but it's right from Spain. So once again, bolero. And lastly, on a chord. There you have it. 3 quick Latin rhythms for you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope all of that made sense to you. Let me know if you have any questions, if it went by too quickly or you want a little additional information on any of these. I'd be glad to help you out. Get at me through my email address, jeffrey.weinberger@maine.edu, or my Facebook page, which is Belfast Guitar and Ukulele Workshop. Okay, ukulele people, take care. Bye-bye.